Finally, we're fortunate to bring you another video as I'm still alive, and I've decided this is going to be brought to you by Welch's 100% grape juice. I have never found a problem with 100% grape juice by Welch's ever. Hope never to ever find out anything but that. And chill it to just above 32 degrees, and it's the best. Just about any drink you drink, that's it. If you're wondering who this is DelNeu, DelNeu or DelNeu. My real name is Dale Newman, and this is what I'm trying to do, is finally, for all my life, get to the point where I can do this, record for you, and instruct you, or whatever, or, you know, just get my message out here. And, it's been 50 years in the making, just to get to this point, struggling just to survive. All sorts of battles, you'll probably have some yourself, God knows. And we were filming this in natural light. I turned on my lamp over here, even without a shade. Low wattage bulb still bothers the heck out of me. What can I say? Darn near Amish, but not quite. And I'll tell you the joke. The joke's knock knock is there. Amish. Amish you. I miss you. That's what. So, told that to some Amish lady when I started the joke. She thought I was going to insult her about her being Amish. I'm sure of it, but she was with a smile on her face. She realized it was a nice little joke. So, Black Cat's here to help the festivities. And what we've got here today, no mods, well, there are mods actually to this. It's an HR-16 drum machine. And what I did end up doing to it was all the plastic labels on front that contained what the items, well, the items aren't written in there. It was for you to write your own notes about what you changed some items to. I got rid of all that. And there's the front top lid on it. If you know what an HR-16 is, drum machine, you know what I'm talking about. It's by Alesis, by the way. Leaalesis. And that lid is a pain in the ass too. That starts to bother you. So that's gone. And then there was also, now if I recall, a back panel that where the plugs are that was supposed to label what everything's for. I think that's gone too. And then there was some other hacking that I did. I don't know what to it. And in the end, also to get, because of all the glue, well, I tried to get as much of the glue I could off. In the end, it was nearly impossible. So I took electrical tape, and I don't know if you can see in the natural eyes how it looks. I guess not, it's too dark today. But basically, if you can imagine, if you can't imagine, you need to learn to imagine things. But I put strips of electrical tape. It's just standard electrical tape. I trust electrical tape at like a Dollar General store. Some places it's too cheap and it's too breakable, or it's made out of poor material. And you might say, well, he doesn't like rubber, he doesn't like electrical tape, doesn't matter rubber. All right, what can I say? Electrical tape, I still trust. And I trust it a lot more over like, I try using postal tape or any of these saran tapes or saran wrap even. All of this stuff is nasty. So the only tape I found is pretty much still feels okay is electrical tape. So, and it comes off usually clean, and it's pretty good. And as far as using it for wiring, yeah, I have a special way of wiring things. You might get into that on another topic. and I basically do solderless wiring now. I used to solder everything. I was traditionally raised. My father was a technical engineer too for Boeing and up in where the Cape Canaveral is in NASA. Actually, they were doing Minuteman missile testing. Probably it was pre-Apollo days, I would imagine. And so he went out with solder everything else. Yeah, I get it. I'd always go to the garage, and he'd say, "You got to use flux on this," and do it. And then they come out with solder that had the flux in it, and all this. And we had our days, and now it's like one day I couldn't get any solder, didn't have any money, whatever. I needed to get things done, and I don't know what to do, and just started with some techniques, and I perfected them down to where I've really improved my system because I used to do it the standard way, cut wires evenly. I wound up having wires shorted eventually, having to unwrap, tape, everything, and redo things. Why is this happening? And now I've got it down. It's just, if I had to describe it, cut, tape, cut, in simple terms, it's nothing to do with obviously the drum machine talk, but cut every wire different length and cut opposite lengths on the other side. If it's 3 or 4 wires, when you're taping, um, do like a fold over tape on it first, and twist wires. That was my friend Scott who taught me about that. So I had a different way I was doing it. And if you do it right and you tape it down to the wire itself and in layers, well, like I said, I think it's a topic for another time. I have something like that to do. I don't want to do anything like that to do. Anyway, don't want to make this too long. You're going to get bored. You're never going to get to the point you need to get to. So, like I said, it's all taped up and black all around, so I can concentrate on the buttons and the display, and not have to deal with everything that's sitting there and talking to me. It's like I say, it's talking to me. It sounds like I'm insane, but your eyes are receiving input constantly, and you probably, it's like Sting says in the Police song, too much information running through my brain. Stop. And the reason he was having that problem was one day he just realized things were flooding in. It was like Noah's flood, and I'm finally getting it under control. And this is one of the things I had to do. So now that I've got you to where my HR-16 is, and it's completely functional still, I did find another thing doing it. It was nice at one time stereo. I noticed one of my channels has a buzzing noise, but one of my channels does not. And I'm not sure which one I'm into now but if you do have a buzzing channel, I recommend you pan everything to the channel that works and use that channel. Now on the HR-16 you have, I believe, input 1 and 2, and you possibly could move everything to input 2. The best solution I could do for right now is unpan all the way to the right channel, I believe. And a confusing thing on the back of on the HR-16, which I don't agree with, is it's backwards. If you're facing the HR-16 and your plug is in the left channel, that's actually the right channel. And God knows, some people just, I don't know, I don't know what their logic comes from as far as trying to see what's going on from one perspective, and then they did this, whatever. But that's the way it is, and just got to deal with it. So here we go. I'm going to give a demo here of, you can play the pads just the way they are. So most people program, I did a lot of it programming. Of course you can, it's nice machine for, I gotta stop talking, I'm not gonna get to demonstrating it. But you punch in, punch out, you erase things and whatnot, it's nice. And so I got it running through my little amp, and falls off of here, I got to set up and it's really not on a flat surface. So actually, if I turn the equipment this way and turn this way, actually, I have to just slide this over. There we go. Set this flat. It's better if it's completely flat. Something's under here. That does. This water stepping on. I would find myself going through hell. And I don't plug it for stuff. Going through hell, always finding the wire I'm on is some stepping on it, whatever I'm doing. I'm either stepping on it or I'm sitting on it. And I was constantly reminded, isn't that noisy engine out there? I'm telling you, this is killing us. Our society too is the noise level of our neighborhoods and idling cars, and I have a beef about this. I'm going to get it in there to you, but and you wonder why the oxygen level is low. Why people, why even my manager one day at a company, he said he was admitted to the hospital because he couldn't breathe. And then they wound up finding nothing wrong, took CAT scans of all things, and paid all this money. He was so uncomfortable in the CAT scan too, he was telling me. And in the end, what did they find out? Nothing. They just had to attribute it to stress. And he was probably under a lot of stress. And it just so happens that that company, I got George Bushel up, right? Maybe. I keep some Dawn, Clorox, water, mild, very mild solution to wipe my hands. I still got dust here everywhere, and I've gotten this though. But this is good. Okay, so now I got actually way to I can play it nicely. And so now I hope that's not too loud for the levels on the video. So as you can see, this is 16-bit drums. 16-bit, you really don't need much more than this. In fact, I use and when you're pressing go away 32 bits, it's on 64 bits. Yeah, you got at some point people are not considering the efficiency of what you're running and processor time and everything, and you're trying to elevate things, and the raciness of everything in this world is getting to affect people. I'm sure this is another reason. You're finding a lot of youth like me going through mental illness, and they don't really understand it, and a lot of it has to do with this high input to the brain and things racing. I mean, just as much as a guy racing a car down the street. A guy would race his motorcycle down the ditch on my dad's house is, and why would my dad be pissed? Because it was like, you're just kicking it up a notch everywhere here. And so this is basically just 16-bit sounds, and they're very good. There's nothing you need to go farther with here. I think the frequency range is up to about 15 kilohertz, and I found doing testing, when I did my tuning system, exclamation point, tuning system at 400 hertz A4, some of the high frequencies, and I put them in there for you to listen to on the CD, but I have to make that CD available, or you can test them on the website, but I think I don't have the highs up there. But, and then you're limited by your speaker or your headphones, but even so, if your headphones don't really go that high, what I found out is 15,000 hertz, that's about all you got. They're trying to tell you, and this is very important, you need to listen to this as it gets dark. As I say, it's dark, but I'm still here. Listen to me. This is very important. They came out with Blu-ray. I never even want to think about going near it, because you're talking about something they're telling you you're getting audio at, like, I don't know, what is it, over 100 kilohertz, like 5 times sample rate, something like that, and and they're trying to tell you it sounds better. It can't. What you don't understand is the physics behind it. And if you have a 20 kilohertz even waveform, to determine what that waveform is, and it's a sinusoid, by the way. These are all sinusoids being added up. It's a Fourier series, I believe, something like that. So at the highest, if it was 20 kilohertz or 20,000 even sinusoid, sine wave, you only need 2 points to determine that. So you need 40,000 sample rate to determine that. Because why? 2 points, but you're getting 1 point, say at the peak of the wave, and 1 point halfway through it, and between those you can determine amplitude and phase. That's all you need. My senior project was a harmonic synthesizer, and if that's not enough, like I said, my credentials are an electrical engineer, engineering degree from the same college. So, what college? Why don't you get a hold of me and talk to me, and I'll tell you more about my life. Nobody wants to talk to me, it's all right. Hey, I got a lot of problems myself. But anyway, that's what you got here. You're looking at. And so here, I'm just going to go through. You've got 16 pads, but you've got like 40 some sounds. People know this. This is just like, I'm just reiterating what you already know. So I made some changes. That's the top row, that's the 4 toms. I learned to do drum rolls. It's cool. Basically, I just use maybe somebody used thumbs now because they use thumbs on their cell phone. I use first finger, and so I'm practiced before recording. That's my. I'll practice that again. And then after that, you could use a crash and a bass kick. And you put it all together. Slow it down, until you go present. The fingers are crowding each other. The buttons are just barely big enough for 2 fingers on them, but if you do it, you can get it down. I mean, like I said, I'm just barely able to do this. It's getting dark, but I can see. That was better. Okay. I think that was a good enough test. Okay, now what we got to hear is the ride's cool. Now I love the rides anymore. Now, for those of you who know fingering, particularly piano fingering, one is your thumbs, and then it goes up from there. Pointer finger 2, middle finger, dangerous middle finger is 3, ring finger is 4, and pinky is 5, and that's on both hands the same way. It doesn't go the other way. And so if I had to say what to do here, left hand, I've got the second finger on the snare, and I changed that to a piccolo because I get tired of the ambient wood snare. Kind of sounds, it doesn't even sound realistic. Maybe it's heavy reverb on it. Got annoyed with it after a while. I don't know. I got it to work on my songs because I used a very, I dedicated another Alesis product, which is an EQ, and I don't recommend much EQ anymore in your life. If you can get away from that and try to get things flat without it, you're doing better into the world too. If it's noise pollution too. Every time you're doing that, you're modifying the balance of things. It's almost like this. If you remember this, there's a show on television called Land of Lost, and they had these pylons that controlled the weather. It's raining, it's weather, and then there were crystals and everything. And then the little monkey guys, they stole the crystals one day, and then everything was lighting up. It's kind of like I think it's like it affects the world a lot, and EQ does that. And of course, everybody started playing with EQ because I'm sure we're still rolling. Yeah, 20 minutes. Everybody plays with EQ because we got taught into it because the music was, and I'm about to talk about this, it's sped up about, it's 11.1%. I sound like I'm crazy, but that's what it is. And 90% is the cure. Bring it back, I use gold wave. And another thing you'll find is usually adding 3 dB compression with defaults will bring back volume levels. If you notice in gold wave, use 32-bit gold wave. I use version 5.52 and I stuck with it. That's something I use. And you can probably get any version. I believe they're very nice. The gold wave, they provide any thing. Do me a favor, get a license for gold wave. I think the man is worth the money, he has provided an extremely good product for you to sit there and use this shortwave. I don't know what that means when it says it's tolling you. Honestly, I think after a while he's pulling loop cycles on you more and more, wait cycles while he's doing processing, and that's not good for you personally too, and your computer and everything. So, I mean, that whatever it's going, and even if he's not, he deserves money for what he's put together, and he's offered. I've used it for years free, and I finally bought a license, and he maintains it. And if you lose your license, you can get it back easy. I did that too. It's awesome, and I don't know if there's one man behind. If it is, he's amazing because I don't know anybody else behind the product, and it goes into all sorts of high calculation. Anyway, get gold wave. And the new product is Video Meld. I found it buggy, but yeah, it does run. I hope the gentleman, if he's still alive, Jim Miller had passed away. I wish he was still alive to do the kind of things I liked in Personal Composer MIDI, but he's gone apparently. If this guy's still around and he's doing video meld, I hope he gets to where he's going with it because I think it's a good idea. In any case, so now I've actually referenced you a couple other products. Now, where were we? Oh yeah, so we were talking about what's needed for sound, and like I said, 15K, that's about all you're really gonna hear. And when I say K, and K is abused in music industry because when they say CD is 44.1 kilohertz, they lied again once because it's 44,100 hertz. And then they lied again because they actually sampled the music at 39,690. This is news to you. 39,690 hertz. Why? That's close to 40,000, which may be the maximum anybody can hear that's human, and close enough actually that the music actually sounds wonderful at that rate, which is what you bring it back to when you do 90%. But when they kicked it up, the 11.1%, that they did that simply by jacking the sample rate, compressing the music. We're talking any commercial music. We're talking like CDs of Rush, Led Zeppelin, classical music, like the classical masters, everything I've ever touched, this has been done to. And if you've been listening to Alesis, no wonder your parents say you have a racing mind or whatever, or you have to be on meds, and you keep listening to music that's great. Now go to my website, puredel.com, because I'm fixing that music there for you. I have found one thing to note with my phone. I'm having problems buffering it, the music. It seems to, I did very, maybe a high MP3 rate. And it was fine for a while. I didn't know what's happened. Things have kind of tight out there on the internet or something, or on cell phones. They're saving money, I don't know, cutting corners. So I plan to have another undercover section, and it's under undercover at puredel.com. It's P-U-R-E, like some like pure, D-L like the delete key, no, third, second L, It's not like Dell, the company. Even though I have a Dell, and it's like .com. So, or puredale.com, if you like to think of like Fort Lauderdale, Florida, or reverse them. I think I've got reverse speaking history or dyslexic as a joke. So, and like I said, what I have to do actually is resample the MP3s from the WAV file I finally made down to 192 kbs. And for those of you that's swimming in technical jargon now, probably you're ready to quit and want to hear anyone. It's like, when he's going to play drums? All right, we're just going to get back to this now. So anyway, that'll all get fixed. And just remember, check what you're listening to. It might be too fast. Okay, so there was a ride. And I assume this is all louder now. So okay, good, just a little bit more. And you're basically playing with the volume level between the drum machine and your amplifier here. So you make the best balance. Okay, now I got the timbales over here. My ex-wife played that, just that, and I, what they call quantized it for, that was Service, a song called Service. And the other one is the conga. Then you got triangle. I even played surprise with drumsticks originally. I'd often use that as my metronome. I find this more pleasing than drumsticks. And that's the tambourine. Still got the claps. I used to use the claps on, sounds like a disease. And on Dr. Rhythm, the Dr. Rhythm 110 was a very good machine. That's what I used before I got this. And then you have open hat, mid hat, closed hat, and that's it. And that's coming right to left down the second area. Now, if you're going to play the high hats, I usually use 2, 3, and 4 on the hats. And then, of course, you have the 2 and the 3 on the drum bass. So you've got. And I'm trying to do some offbeat stuff, and then I'm losing the bass. So I'm just not with it quite yet. See, I lost it there. And you got the close. If you go 2, 4. Now it helps to have good. If you play piano, as you see, if you play guitar, your left hand might be better, but your right hand's not, or vice versa if you're opposite hand guitarist. But you know, and if you typed on a keyboard, maybe a computer keyboard might be pretty good at this. But you can get good at this. Recording. That's okay. You're allowed. It's not like it's critical. But we are recording. And you know, this is pretty much it. So 2 and 3 on the bass kick, and then you got basically when you want to do the rolls, you got it. Then of course you don't have to use 2 hands. So, can do drum solos. Oh, well, sure. And of course, that's just traditional. If you think about traditional drums, if you've heard enough drummers, you play drums, you've got a drummer friend, you know, you're doing the crash, you're going to usually do the bass drum with it. You know, I think it's just basic common sense. And, you know, a lot of things they would teach you, would read up on this. When you're, particularly if you're programming, and of course there's anything really goes, you know, so you make the rules. But they did say if you're trying to create what a natural drummer is possible to do, that, you know, well, don't, you know, put so many voices in it on top of each other. That is something a drummer couldn't do. But then that's just a basic rule. And then even, you know, I think comes to mind, what was it, the song Emerson, Lake and Palmer, frequently referenced stuff I like, but on the Brain Salad Surgery album, the album, not the song, was After Jerusalem, was that Toccata in Fugue or something it's called. I mean, he's multi-layered. Of course, it could be real drums. I think actually in that he took drum samples. It could have been his own personal Carl Palmer samples or whatever, but I think in the end, I don't know. So I have to ask him, but it sounds very good. But it's a lot of it is was sequenced in the end, I think. But you know, the quality is as good as you can get here. You know, so, and that was so, you know, and there was you know, and of course, what is it? I don't know. That's not to say Carl doesn't play and records his drums live. It does, particularly Tank, I would say, has to be realized. Of course, there's that spot where, well, that's just a reverse reverb on certain things. I don't know. Like I said, you can, you know, you can sit there and try to analyze everything was done. Say, hey, you weren't there. Just play it and enjoy it. And, you know, but it's nice every now and then when you take time to analyze music you're listening to, whatever it is. And when I was growing up, I had my clock radio, like first clock radios come out, and I actually had nice displays. I had a weird green LED display and stuff, and but you know, some things were nice. I don't think they were nearly as nasty as what they've done to them. And I do believe if it's not about somebody taking over things in mind control and you know, trying to run this country without having to shoot a rifle over it, it's been, you know, we got to undo this. And if you ask me now, I wouldn't have a clock radio next to me for anything. I don't want anything near me that's electronic. There's a reason you almost know what they're talking about. I mean, I think, and they are coming all the way, well, you know, hey, an Amish person should have fun playing a drum machine once in a while. You know, it's electronic. Electronics can be fun. But notice it's completely dark now. I'm not turning the light on. Why? Because I don't want it. It's going to make it hot in here. It's still summertime, even though it's rain outside. I'm worried about my health. I'm not going to mess with it, you know. And okay, so you have to listen to me in the dark. Hey, at least you can hear me. I'm alive. I get to get this message to you. It's about sound, right? Anyway, right? So, you know, I will humor you because I'm going to turn along for now. That's against my better judgment, honestly. Actually, that I would compromise. Don't do this, you know? If you can, don't compromise your health for anything. Don't compromise your wellness for anything. If you can help it, If you have no choice, it better be for the greater good, because it's already not for your good, and that's something you're going to have to make up. And I just don't recommend it. You know, particularly when you get to an age where the body's just not doing it on automatic for you. You've got to take control and take care of it, because it's the automatic pilot's shut down. It's done. It's like the first burn on the rocket. It's gone. It's spent. It's not coming back. The afterburners. It's now time to just, all you got is directional propulsion, and just make the best of it. Stop as many stops you can, orbit what you can. Don't get caught crashing down onto some planet's surface that you can't land on and get off of. So, something like that. Okay. Sounds like Lunar Lander does. How many remember Lunar Lander? So, I guess I'm done. I don't know. I could play more, but that's drum mods for today. And, how to do that. Okay. So, not that. So, Johnny Carson, right? So, there's that apparently they had another version of this that had all sorts of weird mods. And what I mean by mods is it was a whole other set of voices. It was like the, I don't know, it was like the HR-16X or whatever it is. And I'm glad I never got it, but I often wondered why they couldn't just tack it on somehow to the one you had, but no, they couldn't do that. So, you know, and if I have the chip, I have to change out the chip. I can't have both chips in at the same time. So that sucks. I'll be opening up the thing to change it, open it up, put it back. No. So I don't know. Maybe if I have a lot of money, donate to me. I'll have a lot of money. I'll get the other one. And but I don't know. It's all electronic stuff, and I might be able to pull it all from computer and other voices and things. And there's a lot of programs actually. I think that stock these exact sounds. If I noticed, I tried using a program. I didn't get really into it. It's called Live, and I actually did get. I had a license for 6 or something. They were very nice. I talked to somebody. I think he gave me a free license to the latest 9 or something, and didn't get around to using it. Might get to it, but they've got apparently a very large library of voices, and I believe they include all these. Then you got to work it into things. So the nice thing about this is I can play it live, really live, and it can go down on digital tape here, I would call it. Let's say it can go down digitally in a gold wave or whatever on my computer live. And like I said, I'm trying not to get. I used to go to very much direct. And it really didn't get direct, but going through a speaker into real air, I think, is important for natural causes. I should say natural causes. But that's it. And oh, no one dies of natural causes. It only dies of stupidity. That's all they don't have. If anybody dies of stupidity. So, so don't get the clap. And clap is it something like collapse, doesn't it? And collapse. You're going to collapse. I don't want to collapse. Doctors telling me I'll have a. You know what I did find? If I have to do anything on blood pressure, I don't even need to take the pill. I mean, I got a pill here, and if I rub it in my fingers, I get some in my skin. That's enough to calm me down. This powerful stuff they're trying to give people, and people don't realize it. They're popping pills, morning, noon, and night because it's prescribed, taking it with milk, or whatever. So they don't know what it's doing to them. and maybe that mild takes the edge off the pill, but then it's not doing anything, so you're putting more pill into you, covering it up with more other things, and then it's going out of you later. It's more chemicals that you don't even say, well, you'd speak of chemicals, you put chemicals on, stuff and antifreeze. Yeah, well, I'm not drenched, I'm not showering in it, Just put a little in my hand, I rub it on myself, and it works. It's helping. It's doing more for me than a lot of the stuff I've been popping. So anyway, it's personal business. I don't want to get into it, but whatever it is, at some point along the line, nobody can drive your car except you because your car keeps changing all the time, and then you change the car so much yourself. I talk about your body that where your body's changing into something maybe more unique that nobody nobody knows how to handle it but you. And if you ain't figured out how to handle it, well, I just wonder why you're not going to be here. Don Henley writes, driving with your eyes closed. You're going to hit something. That's the way it goes. And he was so right. And and it's with a lot of things. And the other song he wrote that was good, "Dirty Laundry." And well, they were trying to get us to accept the fact we have to eat dirty laundry. We have to do laundry. But and everybody is trying to just get rid of garbage and putting it on us. And we're dumb enough for creating our own garbage and we can't get rid of it. It's been 3 years since I finally escaped my situation in Florida. And bringing more crap up here, met a girl hit crap too. Throwing out still, have 2 rooms full of stuff, don't know what to do with it. It's a 3-bedroom place we're renting, and I'm paying rent on 2 rooms that we don't use because they're full of stuff. The cats like it, that's all, because they have like a playground. That's a cat, just a cat, fish. I love cats. Anyway, so drum roll please. Can't do this today, can I? Okay, so practice. This is my practice. I'm allowed to practice. This is my practice. Don't don't let anybody practice on you. I mean anybody. Don't let them do it. But don't wind up in an emergency room. That's for lunch if you can help it. They want to send me one just because they want to get an IV in me to lower my blood pressure. Can you believe that? Ruin my day. The stress of going to that, being carted away, would just be enough to kill me, kill my grandpa. Before I think they were putting him under an aesthetic. My mom tells me she knows. The man died of fright because they were going to cut his leg off. My grandpa saying, "Well, tell a story. Tell everybody knows about my grandparents, how they were tormented by doctors." Anyway, I don't want to end on that kind of note. Just end on okay. Some angel. I can send as many angels to heaven as I want. See? Okay, that's good. We'll send more later. Send 2 more? Okay. Well, no, I can't. They're not ready yet. Send them anyway. You can't send people to heaven. You can't get angels. Not until not until they're done. And you can't get off of this planet until you're done. And how do you know You're relying on going somewhere you don't even know where you're going. This is the stupidity of the whole thing, you know. You need to step back and realize what you've already got here and take care of it, because you don't just get to like let this place go and expect you're going to get somewhere else, and they're going to let you in because you're going to be responsible there, or you don't think there's nothing you have to do there because there's nothing to do, and then you think that would be so good. Someone tell you, hey, I'm just going to get to heaven, we're going to worship um, God by singing and praising. You won't have to worry about doing anything at all. I don't know about you. If you've been, I don't know. I don't know. And then you wouldn't ever get bored, I guess, right? I hope not, but I don't know. Of course, you know that they make it so you wouldn't get bored, I guess. So I don't know. So I have no clue. You can't even appreciate what you've got now, and yet somehow God's going to whisk you away to somewhere, and you're going to appreciate that place just fine. And this all makes sense to you. It doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't. And the angel that told me that can go. So that's it, folks. It's today's message. Until next time, this is Dale in the Dark. He plays piano in the dark. He plays drum machine in the dark. Whatever. Good night. Good night, Black Cat. That's not Black Cat in the window. See, it's a silhouette. This is Turkey. Kitty in the window. Is that the setting sun out there in the corner? Wow, that's cool. What is that? No, it's not the setting sun. See, this is another thing. We got like outside lights on all the time. All the time. I don't know. I guess we need them for security reasons. A certain amount, a small amount of artificial light is good. But to the extent of like daytime running lights, that has to go. You've got lights on already at night with cars. Now you want lights on another 12 hours, double the time, artificial light and heat, and from halogen bulbs and stuff. No. And this is hurting people's eyes, and it's actually hurting concentration of driving more than it's helping. I can't see. I see worse cars on the road because they're coming at me with lights. I don't care if it's low beam or even if they're regular. I don't need them on. You want me to pay attention to you? Turn your lights off. We need more light on the inside these days than we need on the outside. And that's on the inside of our minds. We need more inspiration, more creativity. And you can't get that when you're spending that dollar, so to speak, to light something on the outside. That's what your cost is. Cost of putting light on the outside is less light on the inside, where you really need it most, and you wonder why. I've heard so many accidents. It's like you've got a traffic light, and there's one near our home in South Florida, and a don't matter that there's a light there. Of course, it turns to red, yellow flashing after a certain hour. How many people, because they just run their life up to the point where something's chasing them and they run into each other as if it, like, what are the odds, really? Collision in the middle of, and happened several, more than once. 3 a.m. collisions in the morning. Why? Because they haven't got a clue. So what did the traffic light help? If there was no light there, they'd have to do like you do on a hurricane. So you come to a four-way stop and you look both ways. I say look both ways before crossing. And you both look both ways, you'd see each other. And you wouldn't have collided. What have we done? We've trusted things we thought we could trust. And the bottom line is always going to be, you need light on the inside, you need to trust yourself. Stay alert. Be well. Your life depends on it. Until next time, this is DelNeu, telling you what's new.